Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name's Jim. I live in Georgia, so I'm trying to get ready for hurricane season. I've had this generator for about 5 years. It's a RP8000E. I guess that's a 8,000 watt. I'm not sure, but I've used it in the past to power the entire house when hurricane season came and knocked out our power for weeks on end. But I decided to pull it out of storage and start it up and make sure it was running good, because I didn't want it to be down or have any problems while the storm was here. It's nothing worse than trying to work on equipment while it's raining or stormy. But anyhow, I cranked this thing up and it started for about 5 to 10 seconds and it would just go out. It would just cut off. I wasn't sure why. And I looked at a few YouTube videos and I got some pointers on what it could be. But the obvious thing is we thought we might have had bad gas. So I drained the gas, cleaned out the carburetor, which is right here. You can't see it on this side here. Let me pull it over here. I got this on the back of my truck. But the carburetor's right here. I drained that drain cock right there and flushed the whole system out with good non-ethanol gas. And I cranked it up, and this is what it does. I'll show you. I'm lucky this one has a starter on it. So I got the gas on, and that's what it does. Okay, and so the second pointer I got on another YouTube video was this CO2 detector is probably bad, or there's a yellow wire here that goes, I don't know if you can see it right here, and I guess that's the oil level sensor, and it could go bad. So first things first, when I cranked it on, of course you can see here the light is automatically on, so I guess that tells me that it's bad. I'm not sure, I didn't look at the instruction manual. I can't find my instruction manual, but I checked my oil level and the oil level's good, and I put a reader on this wire here that goes to the sensor, and I'm not getting a reading from it to tell it to kick the engine off. So this black wire here and this brown wire here are the CO2 wires, and I guess this is the live feed and this is the ground. So basically all I did was disconnect this black wire here. I disconnected this black wire and this black wire, and I put a switch on it, an on-off switch, so to bypass the CO2 detector. So I've got it on a off switch right now, so it's on. So if I have it on, that means that the circuit is completed. So it will cut on, it will turn on, and then it will cut off. I'll show you again. That's exactly what it does. That's exactly what it does when I first started having these problems. So I know the gas was good because I got fresh gas in there and flushed the system out and put fresh non-ethanol gas in there. So what I did was I took apart these wires here, and I bought a switch right here. I don't know if you can see it, okay? And this piece here just covers all these wires right there. And I drilled a half inch hole to take that switch. And I got this switch from, where did I get that from? Tractor Supply. And I'll show you the box that it came in. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, this was the this is the switch that I got. I got some garbage in there, but hold on a second. Yeah. Well, that's the package that I got it in. It really doesn't show much on there, but this is the switch. It's a pre-wired switch, so all I had to do was cut the existing wires, and then of course I soldered them on there. Now don't hack me on my soldering job. I'm not a professional, but I got the job done, and then I spliced these and connected the wires, and put some heat shrink on there to keep it waterproofed. This one already had a waterproof shield on it here, so all I had to do was solder them and just pull the shield back down. And of course, if I have it in the on position, it's going to do exactly what it does. It'll just cut off after 10 seconds. So if I turn it in the off position, that of course that opens the switch, or it closes the switch. I don't know what the right terminology is, but it doesn't create the loop for the ground. But I'll show you when I have it in the off position. Watch here. There you have it. See, when I turn it back on, it shuts the machine down. Like the CO2 sensor here is telling that it's bad. I really didn't want to invest any more money into this thing because I know that CO2 sensor panel is probably expensive. I only run this thing outside when the storms hit or when the power goes out. So the CO2 sensor alarm really doesn't apply to me. But if you're running these things indoors or close to indoors where the CO2 gases get back in and hurt somebody, I don't suggest doing this bypass. But the reason why I put a switch on there is because if you bypass this CO2 sensor, you can't turn it off while it's running. You see? I'll show you. Turn the switch back off. Power this thing back up. That's why I put a switch on there, because I didn't want any wires dangling or possibly grounding out or shorting out or causing any more issues with the system. So anytime that you had to power this thing out and you're bypassing, you had to connect this wire and this wire. You had to connect this wire and this black wire together in order to shut it down. So instead of having to take my hands and possibly shocking myself or potentially shocking myself or have the wires just dangling in the weather, I just put a little switch on there, just like that right there. I drilled a 1/2-inch hole, put that switch on there, so it just looks cleaner, and plus it hides all the wires, and it's just easier to maintain, I feel like, instead of having all these wires dangling out. But I will try to put it all back together now and hide all the wires, and it'll look like it's a professional job. You just wait a second and I'll try to put it back in there. Okay, there you go. I got the wires all tucked in there, nice and neat. I don't know what it is, but I'm always a kind of a neat freak when it comes to wires. I like them nice and tucked away and safe, and where nobody can get their hands in on them. But let me put this cover back on there and I'll show you what it looks like when it's completed. All right, I put the cover back on there. You can see the cover, and there's the switch. It's off now, so if I want to crank it back up and let it run, this is the position you want it to be in. When you want to shut it off, you'll just boom, and then it turns the switch back on and it'll shut the machine down to bypass that CO2 sensor. But this nut here is a 10mm nut, and right here goes the tire, and the only easiest way to get to this setup right here is to just take that tire off. So this is a 14mm nut, and you got a 14mm nut on the back that you'll want to put a wrench on, and you'll take it off by this nut here. But I'll show you one. I'll show you the picture after I put the tire on, and we'll see how it goes. I got the tire on, and you can, at a level you can't even see the switch, but when you get up here you can see the switch right here, right there. Okay, so let me turn it back off, crank it back up. And that, folks, is what I did to try to clean up those wires and get my generator back up and running for this hurricane season up and coming. Now, like I said, I don't suggest you guys bypass this CO2 sensor if you guys operate this thing close to indoors or indoors. I don't think you're supposed to be operating these things indoors anyway, but that CO2 sensor is there from the manufacturer, and of course this whole panel here is expensive as hell, and I don't want to invest any more money into this thing. I just need it for a week or two during each year for when the power goes out, and I have it sitting out here. I pull this truck up and just sit it out here about 5 feet away from the house, and I just let it rock and roll. But that's a simple solution that I've come up with some help on the YouTube family. And this is for the CAT RP8000E. I'm not sure about the models above or below how the wires are set up, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty much the same as far as the color goes. I just wanted a cleaner setup for this switch here. But this is my first video of posting on YouTube in a long time, so I'm a little rusty when it comes to the camera work. I'm doing this by myself, but I know hurricane season coming up, and you guys get out there and make sure your generators are working. And if not, if you run into this problem with this cat, try those wires and see how that works for you. It worked perfect for me. I don't know how all the other generators work as far as bypassing that CO2, but you guys would have to do some research on your own for other models besides the cat. But I hope this helps you guys maybe figure out an easier solution. But I just like the clean setup that I created here. So I'll probably put some silicone to waterproof this, or I might just go on Amazon and buy me a waterproof, like a marine type switch, so it's waterproof. But hope you guys have a good day, and hope this guys helps you guys solve your problems with your cat generator.